Hi guys, welcome back. All right, Saggies, let's go ahead and get into a highly specific message. We're going to start out with locations: birthplace of dreams, tavern, and forest. This is actually kind of fun. It starts us out first off with I almost think that Sag is one of these people who maybe has like a real lively like social life or something where if they're, they have like the little neighborhood, like small community watering hole that they go to, and you kind of laugh and chit chat with people in the local community, and kind of bounce ideas off each other. Or I'm picturing somebody going to like pub trivia or something too with a couple of colleagues or friends, or just kicking it. And when it's real relaxed and there's just kind of like a flow of energy, some throwaway comment that is made could actually trigger and be like, actually, that's a really great idea. Maybe it's a business idea. Maybe it's a comment that somebody gives. Sometimes a single compliment, or somebody saying, "Oh, but Sag, we all know Sag isn't going to go for that. We know what Sag is made up of. Sag has a backbone. Sag doesn't, if somebody makes a comment to Sag, it could really spark something in them that is very like heartwarming, and they kind of go and they mull over this. I feel like Sag is mulling over something that somebody said to them in a really beautiful way, and it's kind of like blossoming into an idea or a pathway in life, or even an awareness of a gift that they have. I don't, maybe Sag is a bartender, maybe they help a lot of people, and somebody said, you should be a therapist, and they're like, I've kind of always wanted to do that. Maybe I will do that. It just feels like with the birthplace of dreams and there being a tavern, which is usually like, it's a relaxed atmosphere, right? We don't go into a tavern to be intense. It's to blow off steam. It's where you go to relax or unwind, have a meal, hang out with people. I'm hearing like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. It is kind of like a loose camaraderie, a social environment that can be nice. It's, you don't have to go home and sit by yourself and eat a lonely dinner. Hang out with some locals instead, chit chat a little. It's good to have, like a place where people can, congregate and just in a relaxed way, just kick it. But sometimes really beautiful stuff happens in settings like that, where it's relaxed, where, people are just talking and, maybe sometimes talking about stuff that's real, maybe sometimes just talking about, the flow of like, especially in a tavern, sometimes people can say things because they got a little liquor in them that are like more emotionally raw and true. If somebody just gives Sag like a really great compliment or something, they may never have said that if they didn't have a drink or two in them. That's true. But what they're saying could still be the absolute truth. It's just, this is the setting in which it had to come out. It feels really positive. Like something good is going to happen, some great conversation that Sag is going to keep thinking about after the fact. Now, could this be a date? Sure. Absolutely. This could be where Sag meets somebody really important, because we do have a soulmate. We have the tower here, though. It almost feels like Sag is going to mull over a conversation that they have with somebody, and it's going to give them this little smile, this grin on the inside, where they decide to kind of like let down their guard a little bit. What is this? Because it's about somebody who feels more like a soulmate. Three of Wands. It's something that will slowly continue to percolate in the back of Sagi's mind. And it could be, they're thinking about this person, they're thinking about the communication, they're thinking about, I don't know, maybe by Year of the Horse, by February, there will be a lot more going on here. We have the Hierophant, and it's sideways, which is big old serpent. It says that there's a slow dawning, the slow awakening. I'm going to say Sag's heart has been fairly touched by someone. They could be a Taurus. This could be somebody who's still in love with Sag, and this could be somebody who's telling Sag this. It could be Sag meets up with an old friend and it rekindles something. They could be going through a divorce with that tower as well. There's something here where I don't feel like Sag is lost in the forest. I just feel like this is the beginning of an idea that has been planted after like meeting somebody at this tavern. Maybe it's going out catching up with an old friend. Maybe it's unexpectedly bumping into somebody that Sag used to know. And it's like, oh, how interesting. We're rekindling something. Especially the rekindling is here because those are like giant horse candles. um, Somebody may really like horses as well. I'm wondering if this is an impending divorce that a character is going through. They could tell Sag, I'm going through a divorce right now, and it's, I'm probably going to have to move into it like a smaller place. I've just moved into my own apartment. Hey, Sag, it's great to see you. What's gone on in my life? Well, lots of things, Sag. I've was married. Now I'm not, or I'm almost not, and I just moved into my own place. It feels, yeah, Nine of Cups. It feels, even though that would sound sad, it actually feels amazing. It feels happy. It feels like somebody is saying, I'm happier than I've ever been. They may have been born in Year of the Snake. I just think this is Sag recognizing that, I bumped into this person and I needed to. Now, let's say this wasn't about, potential romance. Let's say it's just some great conversation. Somebody says something really true and really, I don't know, just kind of exciting and uplifting, something that inspires Sag and makes them feel like, I would like to pursue, some goals, some dreams that I have. I would like to do that. If that's the way I would look at this, then I would just say, Sag has this idea about something that they either need to go talk to a friend about, they need to go talk to an investor, they need to go, they've been inspired by something and they're like really excited to get back to a plan that they had for their life once upon a time. Maybe it's to go to school, maybe it's to study. Like I said, maybe somebody was like, oh, Sag, you're such a great bartender, you should be a therapist. And they're like, I always thought about that. Honestly, I might, with that nostalgia, I might decide to go back to school. This could be Sag looking into it. When would I be back in school to study? Could I start anything before this year is over? Do I need to fill out paperwork? Is it in the next 3 months I might be able to start a program? This is feeling super exciting. I think, even if Sag is like, I'm going to move home and I'm going to put myself through school, oh my God, I could make all this happen. We could look at it like that also, but it's, again, it's the birthplace of dreams, and it's a casual conversation that changes the course of Sagi's life in the next 3 months, all because of this one conversation. 10 of Cups, 8 of Swords. Everything doesn't happen instantly. We already can see that this really doesn't get going until Year of the Horse with that 3 of Wands. By the way, Sag, we did do a 2026 bridging the gap from 25 to 26 video for you guys already. I can't remember what yours was, but we had some pretty cool videos. Anyway, that one should be in your playlist if you guys want to catch that or if you missed it. To see the 10 of Cups along with that 8 of Swords, though, that to me says, it's like, I want to get to the good stuff immediately. I'm so excited about this. This feels fantastic, but I can't rush it. This could be Sag saying, I don't want to date this person until their divorce is final. Or I have this little glow in my heart where I'm like, I already know they want to see me again and I want to see them again, but they do need to complete their divorce. If this is about Sag saying, I can't wait to, go to school for this program that I'm going to be in, but there's nothing I can do to speed that up. So it is like delayed gratification. But is there something positive out of that? Yeah, the World and the 7 of Swords. As much as Sag is like, no, I want it now. The truth of it is, every new chapter of our life we have to prepare for. There's stuff we have to let go of. There's stuff we have to, get used to. This is a really important 3 months for Sag to like not lie to themselves about anything and imagine that this is going to be easier than it is, because it probably won't be. It probably won't be perfect. There will probably be bumps in the road, but still so worth it for Sag. So worth it. Let me take a look. This is like, don't put our ideas into like, and it's going to be the most happy, most seamless thing I've ever done. That says, don't build it up in our heads that way. Instead, prepare for a massive change. And change and transition will be difficult. Even if it's good, even if it's the change and transition that we want, it will still be somewhat difficult. I've been holding this deck, but it actually feels like the wrong one. I'm going to go this route. What do we have in this Sagittarius future? I'm still trying to figure out if it's love or if it's life-related stuff. We have the Chariot. We just keep saying it's all forward motion. Sag's life is changing in the next 3 months, and they already know this. 3 of Wands again in the next 3 months. By the way, we're coming up to our next full moon, big old super moon. So we've got a good time to release things. We have the Star, and just lean into the future that Sag wants. I'm still not sure if this is about life or about love. To me now, I'm thinking it's everything. Maybe it's everything simultaneously. Maybe Sag bumps into somebody who not only says, oh, I'm getting divorced, I'm single, I sure would like to see you again, Sag. If, it'd be nice to catch up with you again, after my divorce is final. Or this is them also saying, I always thought you're so talented at such and such. I always knew you'd, like go far in life or something. And it could be like that not only gives Sag that warm glow to be like, that person thinks so highly of me, and there's somebody I'm looking forward to seeing again after their divorce is final. It could be both. Maybe that's why I can't seem to figure this out. It's definitely got love in it because we have the Knight of Cups. This person will be moving toward Sag. But again, everything here says this is a massive life change for Sag. And it seems like it happens in a somewhat frivolous, lighthearted, a tavern isn't even like a fancy, 5-star restaurant or bar. This is a very casual environment, and yet our life can change in a very casual, seemingly serendipitous, unexpected thing. We just popped in for a whatever. We didn't want to cook tonight, and we wanted a basket of tater tots, so we ran over to the local pub to sit down and eat a basket of tater tots and watch a game or something, on their big screen TV at the pub. And it was like, I'm only going to be here for, the last quarter of a game, 15, 16 minutes, eat my tater tots and get out. And instead, that's a moment of a life change. That's as long as it takes for life to go in a new direction. That's what this message says. And I think Saggy's life is so like they got on track with what they want for their future. And part of it has to do with a potential romantic partner, but it also has to do with a new direction in Saggy's life. This is something that they had hidden from themselves that they wanted so bad until somebody else brings it up. See, I don't think this is something Sag didn't already know they'd be talented at. If somebody gives them an encouragement or says some compliment to Sag, Knight of Swords sideways. I think Sag wanted this a long time ago and has many times thought about pursuing some other chapter in life, but it's a throwaway comment or a, light compliment that actually hits Sag and gives them just that little push to push them over the line to say, I am going to pursue this in my life. Had I not sat down and taken my tater tots in that tavern that night, I would not be on the path that I'm about to go on, and which is actually the path of what I've always wanted for my life. That is a great message. Can I just see what is the compliment or what is it that is said to our Sag? Death card. It's something about like, I don't know if somebody says, oh, Sag, you could reinvent yourself to do anything. Like you literally, you're the kind of person that I could see, that them casually. Then one day you see them on like the big screen TV being interviewed. And it's like, yep, I'm not at all surprised. It feels like somebody gives Sag that kind of compliment where they're just like, you're the kind of person that you see and that becomes a household name. But, we knew you way back when, and it just wouldn't be at all a surprise. It feels like characters around Sag have always known Sag could do anything, absolutely anything that they wanted to in their life. Sag would change their life too, and they would change it suddenly. And yet it's like, but it'll still be what was always right for you. Nobody will be surprised when you become a millionaire, Sag. Nobody is going to be surprised when you suddenly are famous for something that you do really well. We can all see it in you. And we've known any old day you could change your whole life, and we're going to see you on the big screen. that kind of a sincere compliment might be exactly why it's the push that Sag needed to say, I've been thinking that there were other things I wanted to do in my life, but I think I needed to hear other people believe in me, believe that that could be my path, because I always believed it was my path. Even if it seems like a long shot, even if it's like a 1 in a billion that makes it, Sag will be the 1 in a billion. But they thought that privately and secretly in their own mind, but they needed to hear somebody else say it out loud. And I just feel like this is the kind of like low pressure, easygoing, but straight from the heart kind of conversation that happens like in a tavern sometimes with, people just saying what they actually think. And it happens to be, it's not even supposed to be a compliment. It's just a fact that they're stating. Oh, you're the person that I wouldn't be surprised at all, Sag, if you wind up a millionaire. You always have had that in you. And I just feel like that's what Sag needed to hear from somebody. I lean heavily in this storyline toward Sag having this big change in their life. Um, but those words may have come from somebody who wants very much to build a life with Sag. That compliment may have come directly from their lips, the person who I think is getting divorced, the person who is going to be a part of Sag's future. Six of Cups. It definitely comes from the soulmate. And we already saw the soulmate here. We already saw. So this is exactly the person Sag was supposed to reconnect with. This is exactly the soulmate who I think sees the power and the beauty and the grace in Sag, but this compliment had to come from them. I think Sag and this person have a big future up ahead. I think this is a turning point in Sag's whole life. Thank goodness for the casual pop in to eat some tater tot kind of moment. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you so much. This was a highly specific message, hence the little side notes in it. I don't know if this person, by the way, is a masculine, and I don't know if they own some kind of a reptile pet, but they very well might. So anyway, that's just another side note. All right, you guys, take care. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.